diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and we are presented by the Hula Bowl. And today I have with me Armond Lloyd. He's a defensive tackle out of Samford. Hey, man, what's happening?
Nothing much, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, glad to have you on, man. It's been a while. I mean, I tried to reach out to you last season, but I mean, you know what? I mean, we got another year because of COVID. So I mean, have the opportunity actually to sit down with you for the first time, I believe. But tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Like, tell me where you're from and how you got to Sanford.
So I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, which is literally obviously right where Stanford is. And I went to Oak Mountain High School. Stanford was actually my only offer coming out of high school, and I greatly appreciate the coaches for offering me. And it's funny because they tell the story all the time that they were watching someone else's film and they were like, hey, who is this guy? And so they just end up popping up to school one day. And I believe they offered me on the spot,
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of guys there, in your region. I mean, it's a hot spot. It's a hot spot there for talent. I mean, Alabama is, where some of the best players are. That's just kind of how it goes. So, so you said only offer ended up going to Samford. What's so special about Samford to you?
I think just the tight-knit community, just the way that how much effort everyone puts towards academics. It's not just it's not secondary. It's really first, and my coaches, they preach that as well, to get our schoolwork done, and if we may have to schedule a class that maybe during practice or during a meeting time, they let that class is more important than our meeting that day, because they want us to succeed and be the best we can outside of football as well,
So
and
go ahead. Sorry.
And, I just think that's something that I haven't really heard much of from other schools. And, even our professors, they commend the football team for, just being such awesome guys, and I think that's still a reflection of the Sanford culture and the culture that the football team has.
So what are you doing there as a student? What's your major? Have you graduated already?
So I graduated in May of 2020 with my undergrad in JMC, which is journalism and mass communications. And I also had a minor in Spanish, yeah. And so now I'm getting my MBA and I'll earn that in December, which is really awesome. And I'm really excited and I'm really thankful for Sam for allowing me to do that too, because, the COVID season wasn't guaranteed for anyone, and they allowed me to come back, which, is really a blessing.
So talk to me about this COVID season for you, man, because I mean, obviously a lot of small schools, they got shut down. You didn't play in the fall. So tell me about like that season, like how it hit you, how it affected you. I mean, just overall.
So I think with anyone, it took some adjusting at first, practicing full time in the spring rather than just going into full spring camp, but I actually really liked it. It was honestly something really cool that, if COVID had have been prolonged, as at its highest, I would have adjusted my schedule to that, because that's just how we're going to play football, and I really liked it because of the weather. It was never extremely hot and it was always a slight breeze, and one of my coaches, he has a thing, Coach Benedetto, our defensive coordinator, he always says, sunny with a slight breeze, 70 and sunny with a slight breeze every single day. Doesn't matter what temperature it is. It could be blazing hot in the middle of August camp, 70 and sunny, And that's the kind of mentality that we had during the spring. But it actually was 70 and sunny most days, and we had usually 12 p.m. or 2 p.m. games.
Great. So let's talk to you. Let's talk about you as a football player. I mean, obviously they're playing defensive line. I mean, I have you in my notes: 6'3", 305 pounds, about 10-inch hands, but you got some pretty long arms as well. I mean, you got 34-inch arms. So I feel like that's one of the big things that is going to help you out some. So, talk to me about you as a guy on that defensive line. Like, where's your experience level, like across the board there?
Okay, so I'll say coming in, it was just learning how to fine tune everything and learning how to adjust my skill set to the speed of the game that is college football. And it wasn't easy at first. I was like, oh, when you come in as a freshman, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna start right away. But then you have this you get humbled on so many levels, and then so you have an option of either, you know man, this just isn't for me, or I'm gonna do what I know I can do, and I'm gonna keep grinding at this thing, keep getting better, keep getting better, getting better. And that's what I chose to do. And it's not just me, it's all the guys around me, all the older guys that, man, I had so many people pouring into me. Specifically, I want to just these guys: Ahmad Gooden from my 2016 season, um, uh, Ladarius Banks from my 2016 season, Ketaris Marks from my 2016 and 2017 season. All these guys just pouring into me, just telling me, like, they were older guys. I'm telling you, like, that were telling me where I'm gonna be one day, and I'm like, oh man, I can't really see it, but just them keeping me on track is what it was a really helping thing. And also, we had a lot of coaches come through Stanford. Actually, my first coach was Vic Cabral, and he's an awesome dude. He always told me that for me the sky's the limit, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, the sky's the limit? Then in the freshman's mind, I'm like, okay, then why am I not playing? And so I took that. I'm like, okay, the sky's the limit for me. So let's see. So I'm like, okay, let me kind of fine tune my skills, work at it, work at it, work at it, work at it. And I mean, he eventually ended up putting me in, and I mean, that's how I started playing.
Good. So, obviously, playing there in the Southern Conference, SoCon for people that know the lingo. But I mean, playing pretty well. I mean, I know you've been on some all-conference lists a couple times. I mean, 2019, I think you did. Was it second? Which I don't know why you were second, because that was a really good year for you. And then you also named first team this past spring season, which is pretty cool. Um, and in my notes, again, you've played all along that defensive front from three tech to nose tackle, just depending on the situation. Um, so, as you're playing there in your conference, I mean, I think one of the biggest knocks on small schoolers is like their level of competition, which I think is, kind of a slap in the face at times, because I know you guys play some great competition. So, who comes to mind for you as like your best competition, like, of your career?
As far as O lineman, I kind of have a rank. Like, so it'll be, you have your O linemen who are gonna get after the ball in those hard run blocks, and then you have the zone, and then of course you have the citadels, which are just try to pound your face in. And I gotta I'll say the best O line I've faced consistently has been Furman. Furman has a really consistent O line, and I really respect those guys. And I actually ended up meeting one of the guys. I can't remember his name, but one of the O linemen, which I thought was their best O lineman. His name is Jordan. One of the
Harris, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I
I'm
talked to
telling you,
him.
that guy's amazing. And I mean, he got me better. I would always watch film on just how he would take angles that he would block me, how he would come out and kind of see how he would change. I'm like, okay, well, I need to do this, because he's kind of a process. He processes things kind of how I do, and just seeing him trying to maneuver, we're playing chess, you know what I'm saying? And so it gets really interesting. And so he's definitely a guy that I would shout out.
So like obviously some great competition there. Talk to me maybe about like maybe one of those games where like you actually got maybe like the better of your competition. So what's been like the best highlight of your career so far?
I'll say the best highlight of my career would be back in 2019, when we went into, I would say, triple or quadruple overtime with Citadel, and and we came out with the win. And I mean, it was a day where it was a test of might, really. If you weren't ready to play, because it doesn't matter, like Citadel comes off the ball every single time, and that is a day that goes down in the history books for me, because it was a fight to the very end. Neither team was giving up. Neither team was wanted to lose, and so we had great respect for our opponent that day, and we just came out on top.
Yeah, definitely a hard fought victory. I mean, it's just a matter of wills. Like who's got the will to win, like who is gonna grind this thing out. So definitely getting the better of one of your best competition there. Definitely great. So um, I do have in my notes that you wrestled back in high school. Talk to me about you as a wrestler, and maybe how you feel like that translates to the football field.
So I'll say the thing I love most about wrestling is that learn to do a handstand. You can ask any of my teammates. I can probably do a handstand longer and walk farther than probably 99% of the guys on the team. And
Wow.
yeah, and I try not to flex, but sometimes it just comes out. But um, as far as just translating it directly to football, just learning how to use people's weight as my leverage, and just learning how to wrestle. Okay, so I wrestle both. I wrestled a little Greco but mainly freestyle. And so my heavyweight advantage was knowing how to wrestle Greco, because you're not gonna be the quickest guy when it comes to sweeps or double legs or single legs. I'm working up top, and I'm learning how to use your weight to control you, to get you off balance, sort of what you want to do when you're pass rushing, taking on a double team. I'm going to shock and shed you, just like if I'm doing a duck under or something like that, and I honestly think that's been a key to my success at the collegiate level as well.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. I mean, especially you doing them handstands. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know, uh, that takes some incredible balance, and like if you still have that, I mean, if you have that kind of balance like on your hands, like I mean, just kind of obviously with you on your own 2 feet, I mean that you got to have some great balance there. So you're checking a lot of boxes here for me, Armond. You're looking good. So talk to me a little bit about you outside of football, dude. What kind of guy are you outside of football? What are you into? Talk to me about something.
So outside of football, I love to cook. That's probably my number one hobby, grilling. Um, a lot of times I'll just tell some, especially over the summer, I'll just tell a lot of my guy friends, teammates, if we're in town and you just got out of workout, so you don't feel like eating at the calf, come on over. We're cooking, grilling. I'll say the best thing I've cooked. I've made a whole chicken, smoked the chicken, smoked turkey breast, um, steaks, literally everything, and it's just fun to watch. It's kind of like how someone likes art, they'll paint. It's kind of like the same thing for me.
No,
If I can
I get it.
take
I,
food and season it, and put it on the grill, and it comes out the way that I planned, it's kind of, it's art too. I know everyone likes to say that, but I guarantee you, Mr. Jimmy, if you taste some of my food, you would love
Dude, man, just hearing you talk about it, like your passion behind it,
it.
like I totally would, man. Like
Oh yeah.
if I was ever around, I would jump on that like it, like I was starving. Um, so again, you got a lot going for you as a prospect. I'm sure that you have maybe some guys like coming to practice, maybe checking out your guys' team. I don't know if you've actually sat down with like some NFL scouts, but what do you feel like guys are telling you these days? I mean, what sort of feedback are you getting? Are you getting any?
I try not to dive too deep into it because I think that'll stray away from the purpose of the game.
Sure.
Obviously it's a thought that I have, but that's not my main focus. My main focus is collecting the team win and just doing my job on the line of scrimmage, and I'm gonna listen to if they do come to me, I'm gonna listen and I'm gonna take the feedback. But if it's not in the parameters of our scheme, and I don't want to do anything to mess up anyone else. So it's a team. It's always a team effort. You're 1 out of 11, 1/11th of the defense. So we gotta work together.
No, I hear you. So as we begin to wrap up a little bit, I just kind of want to get your take on something. So I try and ask guys the why question, even though I get a lot of the same answers. I still feel like it's valid. So tell me about why you play this game and just a little bit of your motivation.
I'll say, um, football has allowed me to wake up, and this is gonna be a long why. Football has allowed me to wake up and kind of recreate myself every day. I kind of have a saying to myself. It's kind of weird. Like, it's like I die every day. Every day I wake up and I'm a new person, and I have the choice to be lazy. I have the choice to get off my behind and go do something. And every day I choose to go play this game of football, which has made me the person who I am today. So the game of football is more than just a game. It's really a a sped up version of life in a nutshell. So um it's a lot to it. I know I may not have answered your question as well as
No,
but
I think you answered it, very well. I mean, you figure a lot of it's not just it's just kind of like, rinse and repeat kind of like mentality almost, like you got to get up, you got to work, you got to grind, fall asleep, do it again.
yes, sir.
So, and that's just kind of how it goes. But very final thing for you, Armond. Go ahead, give your pitch to all these teams in the NFL, man. Why should they take a chance on you? Like, what do you got to tell these guys? I mean, and why they need to bring you into their franchise.
Because I'll do whatever it takes. I'm gonna be the guy I'm gonna give you relentless effort every snap, if it's a meeting, relentless effort, conditioning, relentless effort, weight room, relentless effort, study room, relentless effort. I'll do whatever it takes to improve where I am. To if I get feedback, I'm all for constructive criticism. It doesn't. I'm coachable guy, and I love the game so much that I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously a guy with a lot of skills. I mean, doing a lot of great things there at Samford. I mean, again, fighting and clawing, always really in that conference. I mean, very competitive conference there with your competition. But I do feel like you got a lot going for you. I mean, I could use you in so many ways on the football field. I think it's great. I mean, again, a guy with your length, a guy with your understanding of schemes and leverages. I think a lot of that's going to help you out. I mean, at the next level, people really need to know that. I mean, again, I think you got a lot going for you. I mean, what are we to expect from Samford this upcoming season?
I think you're gonna see a lot of dominant play, you know, and a lot of team wins and a lot of us working together to win the game. If offense is down, defense is gonna step up. If defense is down, offense is gonna step up. It's complementary football, just like the coaches teach us.
Gotcha. Well, I do wish you best of luck this season, bro. Again, I got Armond Lloyd. He's a defensive tackle out of Samford. Definitely check him out and what he's got going on this season. Thanks again, buddy.
Thank you.